You are getting an annual salary of $1.2 million that is just for guarding this lighthouse. Do you have the courage to do this job? You will not have a boss who will keep an eye on you. When you are working here, you can sleep comfortably whenever you want, wake up comfortably, enjoy the view, or go fishing. Your job will be to just make sure that the light on top of the lighthouse keeps working properly. This is the only job, and you will get millions just for making sure that the light keeps working properly. But unfortunately, the good news ends here, and the bad news is that this is the most dangerous job in the world. Guarding the lighthouse is the most dangerous job because the lighthouse do exist in middle of the ocean. Before you send your seafarers for this job, also listen to this thing that no one will talk to you here. There will be loneliness everywhere. And the most dangerous thing is that in this area, there are very dirty storms in the city, and the stormy waves hit the tower up to tens of meters. There can be a risk of death in this job. This picture was taken during the rescue operation. Here, it can be clearly seen how the lighthouse keeper is surrounded by the storm. If these stormy waves had completely covered the lighthouse, his life could have been in danger. After knowing all this, do you still have the courage to apply for this job? By the way, after seeing this strange job, this question must be coming in your mind, that why this lighthouse was built, and why is it necessary that the light of the lighthouse should always be lit? For this, we will have to see how the lighthouse started. So this is the story of the ancient era when there were neither roads nor vehicles to travel, so for long journeys, the first thing to do was to use a vehicle. The best way was water. There was a man named Captain Martius. He was a very great sailor and was known for his dangerous sea journeys. But he don't know that an incident was about to happen with him. In earlier times, ships were made of wood. So one night, the captain was passing through a very dark place in the water. There were big rocks under the water, which hit his ship. The ship got a hole and capsized, and it suffered a lot of damage. After this incident, Captain Martius thought that there must be some solution to this problem, which can save them from this kind of danger. Now this is one problem, and another problem is that you know that the ocean is very big, and here we are not including the Pacific Ocean. If we collect the land of the whole world at one place, including all the 7 continents, even then the Pacific Ocean will be bigger. Leave this aside. If we collect 5 continents in one place, then also the Pacific Ocean will be bigger. Even if you keep moose in this area, the Pacific Ocean will still be much bigger. Now you must have an idea of how big this ocean is. In those days, when sailors used to travel in this open water, they did not know how far the next land was, and even where the path was. Navigation was the biggest problem in the world in those days. There was no GPS or any advanced system that could guide sailors about the path. GPS was invented in 1973 and was available to the public in 1978. So old sailors had to rely on the sun, the stars, and some initial navigation tools. To cross this never-ending ocean, 3-4 more problems came because of this navigation system, like Captain Ailes had faced. In the olden days, when the captain was crossing the Pacific Ocean with his crew, clouds suddenly came at night, due to which the stars were hidden, by looking at which they were finding the path. And then the ocean, there was a very strong storm in this part of the country, so these people lose their way. When it is morning, they were lost in the open ocean. The crew had nothing left to eat or drink. The crew was in bad condition due to hunger and thirst. And maybe you know that we humans cannot drink the water of the ocean because it is very salty. Drinking it can also cause death of a person. So these people were thirsty, even after being in the water. Many crew members died. The captain finally got land with great difficulty, and finally these people stopped there. Now that's the reason why world's first lighthouse was going to start. The ancient city of Alexandria was along the Mediterranean Sea in Egypt. The ruler there was Fatal II Philadelphia. Its kingdom was a proper hub for trade and culture at that time, but the biggest issue for this kingdom was its location. If you look at this picture carefully, you will see that the city is surrounded by a huge sea. Old peoples had to pass through this place to reach the shore, and along with this, look at how many stones there were. When the trading ships used to pass through this place at high speed at night, they used to hit the sharp stones underwater. These ships used to sink and their cargo also used to get lost. And the king of that time, namely King Petul, was summoning the expert and brilliant architect of that time, Sostratus of Cnidasa, to ensure the safety of his kingdom's marine trade routes. He asked him for help in finding a solution. They together made a great plan to build a huge light tower that would guide the ships towards safety, and also warn them about the dangers present under the waves. So Stratus started working on it, but he did not know that the thing he was building was going to be one of the greatest engineering marvels of the entire world, the Pharos of Alexandria. This lighthouse reached shining heights on the shores of Alexandria, above the islands of Pharos. Its height was 384 feet, and it was made of white marble. A huge fire burned above this lighthouse, which was fueled by oil all the time, and the supply of wood was always available. This lighthouse was also considered one of the 7 ancient wonders of the world. But this lighthouse was not amazing only because of its size, but there was also a genius design behind it. So Strauss also created a system of mirrors and lenses to increase the light even more, with the help of which the light could be easily seen by the ships, even miles away. As soon as the news of the construction of the lighthouse spread, the sailors from far away heaved a sigh of relief. Now they did not have to navigate the rocky waters near Alexandria because of this lighthouse. So this world's first lighthouse became a symbol of safety for the sailors. And from here, the concept of lighthouse spread all over the world. Earlier, these lighthouses used to be built on the seashores, but with time, when trade started increasing all over the world, then they were built in the middle of the busy trade routes of the sea. In the past, lighthouses started being built at places where rocks were closer to the water, and there was a greater risk of ships sinking from these rocks. This is why you will find these lighthouses at different locations in the middle of the sea. Initially, fire was lit at these lighthouses, but it was not an ideal situation to use wood, oil, and coal all the time. After this, candles, gas lamps and oil lamps came, but the light of the fire was not so bright. When electricity was produced and the light bulb was invented, these lighthouses also started shifting to electric bulbs because they have more light. But still, maybe you must be thinking of how do lighthouses reflect this light miles away? The answer is these lines. Till 1800, these reflectors were placed behind the light source, but the engineers of that time came to know that the light could be focused more. It is possible that if we keep the lens in front of the light, but the problem here was that the thicker the lens, the less light will pass through. So here comes the French physicist and engineer Fresnel, who had a great solution. He made the lens thinner and designed it in such a way that all the light was focusing on one point. In this way, the scattered light could be sent in a single direction. Today, in most lighthouses, Fresnel lensing revolutionized the lighthouse, and the light could be easily seen from miles away. So, with the help of these lighthouses, ships could easily know about the danger. So, in the beginning of the video, I told you about the job that you will get millions of dollars just to stay in lighthouse. You just have to see that the light of the lighthouse keeps burning. Can you still do it? People are interested to do this job. Thank you for watching.